Great. So good morning, everyone. So today we'll be talking about the SQL Accounting e-invoice. It's quite amazing that there is still a lot of users out there, a lot of business people out there that still don't know about e-invoice, right? And this is a required function to do, right, for all those with above 150,000, the threshold being, right? Okay, you know what? I think my video is not working very well, so I'm going to turn off my video. Yeah, it is. You can see it's so blur. So let's turn off my video. All right, and we focus on the screen at hand. Okay. All right. Okay. So now, okay, hold on, yeah. Somebody said you cannot hear me, but let's check it. No, there's no problem with our microphones and all, yeah. So you can adjust on your side. All right, now, so e-invoice. First and foremost, e-invoice, all your software systems, you have to update to the latest versions, yeah? So latest versions being month of May. The next step is you have to activate, you have to register your company into the My Invoice portal. We have also sent out multiple emails on the process to do this. So you must do it, okay? Once you've done it, you can go to your software company profile. I'm going to assume that you all have studied the e-invoice regulations up to date. Yeah, I mean the e-invoice regulations, or have a rough idea, have some idea of what's going to happen. So when you log into your company, okay, log into your database. LHDN says you need to have something like 55 required fields, mandatory fields. Okay, like 35 mandatory fields. Okay. So first thing you process, you will get is your company name must be there, right? SSM must be here. You must fill in your industry code. Yeah. You must fill in industry code. You must have your TIN number here. You must have your address. You can fill in the postcode here, phone number. Now, in the future, phone number, you cannot have dash and pluses. Last time we used to like to put here +603, right? +603, then we need to like to put a dash. Your company profile, you will remove all the pluses and dashes and spaces. Email also must have, yeah? Put your email in, okay? At your report header, technically, you should have all your SSM numbers and TIN number, okay? If you're SST registered, it will be SST number here also, all right? So you must study on the required mandatory fields, okay, for your e-invoice. After we have done all that, now for our part, right, Blazebiz, for our part, if you don't manage to connect your database, you see here, connect my invoice, you must connect each individual database to your MyTax and My Invoice portal. Okay, you must do this part. All right. If you follow the video, still doesn't work. One, most probably you didn't register your My Invoice, your company in My Invoice portal yet. Okay. And after that, if you have done it and still doesn't work, you contact us. We assist you with this process. Okay. We will help you out. Okay, you can see here, there'll be multiple green green ticks means you're okay, good to go. All right, good to go. Now, next, let's talk about our customers, okay? There will be, I think in broad terms, there will be two main customer types. Customers who require e-invoice and customer who do not, yeah? If you've heard of consolidated e-invoice, let's say, for example, Mr. Eric here does not require an e-invoice, right? So you will set Mr. Eric to consolidate. Or in a lot of cases, right? Maybe if you are some sort of retail business, you will make sure your cash sale go to consolidate, all right? Otherwise, when you talk about actual companies or individuals who require an e-invoice, you will need company name. Okay, these are all the required fields. You need SSM number, TIN number. You will need phone number. This is a must. You will need an email. Okay, required fields. Now, a lot of people are really stressed about, when you read the LHDN e-invoice or you go for a seminar, there's just so much info going in, and you feel like lost sometimes, right? Like too much info, right? Now, since you're already system users, the system will prompt you. What is missing? Phone number missing, right? TIN number missing. Okay, we'll do some examples after this. For individuals that require an e-invoice, persons, Mr. Eric, you need to fill up the address, all must have. You must get my card number. You must get my TIN number. Okay, this is a must. Or if it's a foreign, you get their passport number, right? And get the TIN number. Okay, this is all must. Again, like I said before, if you don't have all the details, system will prompt you something. Okay, we'll show you in a bit. Now we have done so many what do you call it? So many types, right? Like I said earlier, we've got e-invoice and customers who do not require e-invoice, consolidated. Okay. Let's do an invoice. I'm going to click new. Now let's talk about individuals, right? Let's talk about companies. Okay. Let's talk about companies. Customer category, I saw a question there. Customer category, you just do it as per normal. Yeah. Okay. All right. Customer category is as per normal. Your classification code is, you can set it at your stock item, or we'll show you in a bit. Now, companies that require invoice. Now, again, mandatory required fields, eStream. Okay, address. Required fields is things like description, required field, quantity, UOM is a must, unit price is a must. Amount, system calculate, right? Now, what if suddenly, because if you're typing in manually, you forget your description. Okay, classification codes here, classification. System set automatic to 22 others for your sales, okay? Anything else, you can select your classifications, but this one is mainly referring to expenses, if you notice here. Save. Now, please note, this sample, we don't have description, right? To submit to e-invoice, my invoice, submit. and it tells you, oh, description not there. Okay. So the system will prompt you. Anything that is missing, it will prompt you. We've keyed in the description and let's do the my invoice, submit. 1 second later, you are okay already. Okay. When you preview to get your invoice. Okay, preview to get your invoice. And your invoice as per normal with the QR code. Okay. Now, if you are a user, a new user, our new client starting from say this year, the QR code will be there. But you know, if you've been using the system for say like about 5 years, you need to put a QR code here. You contact us, we'll help to check it out for you. We'll put the QR code to your invoice format, right? Done. And delivery to your customers as usual, whether you print, right? Whether you print or you WhatsApp. Okay, WhatsApp button. This QR code, your clients will scan it and it will bring them to LHDN website with the invoice details that look exactly like something like this. Okay, it will tell you all the invoice details. All right. So this is an e-invoice that goes to for companies that require an e-invoice. Now, what about things like consolidated e-invoice? Let's click new again. Okay, say cash sale. Okay, for example, if you are doing a retail, right? If you are doing a retail, you are going to declare something like daily sales. Okay. Say, for example, 14.5 sales. Okay. 1 day sales 2,000 ringgit. Line 2. Okay. Sales for 15.5. 1 day, say yesterday was very slow. Okay. Invoice number is auto system generated as per normal. Okay. If you are a regular system user, you will know that, right? Okay. Invoice numbers is as per normal. Okay. There is no need for you to go and type a new number and all that. Okay. No need. No, sandbox is sandbox. Yeah. My suggestion is don't do sandbox. There's just no time left. Okay. Focus on actually linking your database, your company to LHDN and, you know, getting the e-invoice module. Okay, import, exports. Hold on, we'll get back to that. Okay, now consolidated. This is a this is a sample of consolidated. If we go back here, we're going to click my invoice. We're going to submit consolidated invoice. We know that this is cash sales for about 3 days. And we submit. And it's done. You have let LHDN know that. Okay, there's just too many requests going on. At this time, once it's approved, right? It's done. Once it's approved, you have let LHDN know that your, what do you call it? You have declared your sales to LHDN. Okay. Consolidate. Let's try. Too many requests. Okay. I think in the future you might face this issue. For the question about exports, you will put a series of zeros. I think it's 12 or 13 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. If you have, okay, you can refer to LHDN E-invoice website for more details on this. And we know that because they are foreign company, it will be zeros and you will assign the TIN as foreign buyer. That's it. Okay. Because all the details here must be correct. No dash, no space. Yeah. So that's for the exports. Zeros and foreign buyer. Okay, great. So this is our e-invoice. Nothing really much to panic about. Okay, nothing to panic about. Okay, if you study the LHDN e-invoice website, right, you will get all these answers. Also to the email we send out, right? It always links you to the LHDN e-invoice website anyway. All right. So sales. So this covers the main broad sense of all the sales, right? Okay. Sorry, you talk about customer advance payment. We are talking about e-invoice today. We're not talking about SQL system use, yeah? You can contact us later. Customer don't have TIN number, you put to consolidate. But this one depends on your nature of business. There is some industries that you cannot do consolidated, and they must give you a TIN number, right? So yes, depend again on your nature of business. Okay, the biggest example is if you're going to buy a car, you must give me a TIN number. Yeah. No, we are not going to answer general SQL system questions today, right? Today is not the day. You can contact us direct, okay, after this meeting. Okay, now let's talk about suppliers. Suppliers, if you imports, right? It's the same thing with the imports. Classy furniture specialist, imports. You are also going to put in the series of zeros, foreign companies. You are going to fill in all the details, right? Singapore, okay, phone number, everything. Of course, they don't have TIN number for imports. You are going to put to foreign supplier. Okay. You don't need an IC for consolidated. You just submit, okay, in the chat. Okay, you just do consolidate. All right. If you notice just now, we did consolidate submission, no IC needed. But if you put it there, it's okay. More information is better than none, right? Okay, so for imports, foreign supplier, safe. When we purchase invoice, we buy in imports. Classy furniture. You must put in today's exchange rate at the time of invoice. You can put in the invoice number, date, exchange rate, okay? Exchange rate as of the date of your invoice. All right, because if LHDN was to do any verification, they will check this back and see if you are doing the correct thing, right? You're using the correct rate in case of LHDN audit. Required fields, is description, quantity, UOM, price. Save. Okay. And we need to tell LHDN that we didn't buy from a local supplier, we imported it in. Yeah. Looks like today our LHDN website is very tied up. Okay. Too many requests. I hope this one doesn't happen in your future. So after that, you will get a tick mark, approved, and you have told LHDN that you imported in. Now, the next question is self-bill, okay? Right. Now, self-bill. So the latest news, it seems, is, last time before they had the 150,000 threshold, any supplier who didn't give you an e-invoice, you need to self-bill, right? But now with the 150,000 threshold, this also applies to a self-bill. But let's just talk about the self-bill anyway. Okay, like just now, the imports, that is self-bill, right? Maybe there's self-bill. Imports is self-bill. Let's talk about, sometimes you have say a handyman. You need to get your handyman's address. You need to get their postcode. You need to get their phone number, right? You need to get their email. You need to get their my card. Okay. My card. Now, again, 150,000 threshold. Okay. So I would think any businesses running that where you earn more than 150,000 per, but I've been talking to a lot of our clients, and they do have they do have some subcontractors who help them, who do work for them, who definitely earn more than 150,000 and not registered business. And I also always like to say that SSM, if you are running a business without registering, the fine is 50,000 or 3 years jail, I believe, 3 years jail. And you are running a business and not declaring to LHDN, that is a 20,000 ringgit fine, and I think it's like 1 or 2 years jail as well. So take note, it's time to educate your suppliers, because if I'm your supplier, immediately LHDN will know that I'm running a business without, I don't have a team. You cannot even do your self-bill. Okay. Right? If you don't have a team. Now let's just try. But today LHDN website not very cooperative. Okay. So Tin, I cannot provide you, I'm your subcontractor. I've never opened up a LHDN account. No TIN number, no tax number. So let's try if we got general public. Okay. Let's see all there. Then we want to talk about self-bill. Again, I think with the 150,000 threshold, the self-bill will be very little things already. Okay. Wait, let's see. Trade. Again, if you are doing consolidated, right? Okay. Consolidated. For suppliers, you definitely want them in. Okay. Customers, up to you. You can just put them the cash sale. But now, that being said, it depends on your nature of business, right? If you're retail business, yeah, you got a general cash sale. Okay. If you are a tuition center, you got your student ID, then you do consolidated. If you are if you are selling construction materials, you cannot consolidate, right? If you are a hardware shop, you cannot consolidate, okay? What about those not eligible to tax, right? You get those who do not, no, this is e-invoice, yeah? E-invoice, okay? Nothing do with taxation or exemption of SST, okay? E-invoice is declaration of your total sales to LHDN. Now, let's talk about this one, self-bill. I new, I say provide some, I'm your subcon, okay? 1 times job, 2,000 ringgit. Because I didn't give you an invoice, but you want to make sure this is claimable, right? My invoice, submit, okay? LHDN, okay? LHDN is full up this morning. Everybody's trying out the portal. Oh, you see? What happens? IC number does not exist, okay? System will prompt you. Okay, so it's very important. When you do self-bill, you need to get all the details. Okay, LHDN wants to know what everyone earns, even those, what's the problem if you don't self-bill, right? Say if you don't self-bill, say, you know, I think you have to, all of us, we have to make sure our suppliers are legit, right? The suppliers must be legit. They must be at least be able to give you their IC number and their tax number, right? What happens if you key into the system your invoice, right? But you didn't do self-bill, okay? If bad luck means if LHDN ever does an audit, this will be an add back expense, right? They will add back to you. That's it. Nothing. Yeah, that's about it. If they ever do an audit on your company, right? This is in the future. I don't think we'll foresee it happening in 2026, maybe after that, 2027, right? Because we need, I'm sure they want everyone to get used to these sort of things. So this is self-bill. So anything, say you buy, okay, now, exemptions on self-billing is things like staff claims and all that, right? Those are exempted from self-bill, okay? If you go to supermarket, you go to 99 Speed Mart and all that, okay, they will give you e-invoice. So no problem on that, right? Okay. So Christina asked, and you need to put the parent's name, okay? For, say, if you are in education, your database is all about the student always, right? Your database is always on the student. In the future, you will change it to the parent for e-invoice. There's no choice here. You change it around. This becomes the parent. Okay? This becomes the parent. Okay, child, maybe line 2 or attention here. Okay, or line 2. Company name 2, parent. Then you must key in all this. Okay, this must be there. Okay. So, and that's it. Introduction to e-invoice. Nothing difficult. The most, the hardest part of this for a lot of our users is registration in the My Invoice portal. Okay, that's the hardest part. Okay, so registration in My Invoice portal is log into Director MyTax. Make sure that in the MyTax you have the company name, then click around till you go to the My Invoice section and make sure the company name is there as well. Okay, purchase from Tapao is create Tapao lah as an import, right? Create as an import. Okay, does that answer your question? Okay. All right, great. Now, E-invoice introduction, E-invoice and SQL accounting is going to be system is all ready for you, right? So just get your company in the My Invoice portal, buy the E-invoice module if you don't have it yet. Okay, it's now 16 June. You got 1.5 months. It's not a lot of time, right? And just then we will set an appointment and we will activate your system for you, right? Okay, so that's it for the introduction. Okay, any last questions? We will take. Yes, what happens is if there's a lag, right? The question here is if the LHDN server is, lagging and all that, is pusing, it will have the screen, right? What you can do is you can leave it. It will auto submit until it is done. Yeah. Okay, it will just auto submit. So again, LHDN side, the system side, it will just keep on submitting again and again until it goes, right? It will just do it for you. Okay. One more question. All very good questions, but let's have one more question. Anybody? How to check? Well, there, a whole load of ticks. I mentioned, and what about claims, right? Staff claims, no need to do self-bill. Okay. But clarify this with LHDN E-invoice website. Okay. Staff claims, right? You study in the book. Okay. You study in, like I said, today is all about SQL accounting and E-invoice. You study in your LHDN E-invoice statutes. Okay. What they say about staff claims, right? Staff claims and your employment contract. Okay. Say, I am an employee. My employment contract must state that I am okay to do say claim for petrol and flights, etc., etc. Toll, So no need e-invoice. Okay. So submitted, no need to do self-bill, right? For staff claims. But again, please check in LHDN e-invoice. Yeah, the website. All right. Submission, once you've done it, you see a whole load of tick boxes. Okay, that means it is valid, approved. It will just carry on, right? Will the system automate when we log out or while it's on? It will just carry on in the background. Yeah. Okay, it will just carry on. Anyway, if it's not, you still see that, oh, this is not, then there will be a there will be a circle sign there. You see that? Then you just click this. Done. Okay, now the website is working. All right. So consolidated submission. Okay. All right. Now, with the last question, we'll end this session. Okay. Any further questions? Any specific? Okay. All right. Now, that last question, again, I'm going to assume that. All right. Mistake on e-invoice right now. What if you need to edit? I highly recommend you all to study LHDN e-invoice website, all the rules and regulations, right? Okay. Because your questions here, I think this is already month of May. If you are not sure of the rules, right? Okay. Now, submit consolidated e-invoice is by the 7th of the next month. Consolidated e-invoice. Okay. Now, if you make a mistake, good question, I will do this question. Okay. You will have heard of the 72-hour rule up to now. 72-hour rule means within 72 hours, okay, my invoice is 1,000, but actually it's 2,000. I will cancel this invoice. Reason for cancellation, wrong invoice details, initiate cancellation. You have canceled already. I will edit and I will put 2,000 and I will save, right? I will submit again. So same invoice number, change of. No more supplier invoice, yeah? No more supplier invoice. Okay, I will submit it already, 2,000 ringgit. So this is within 72 hours. 72 hours includes weekends and public holidays. What happens if 1 week later, the client cancel? Okay, what happens if 1 week later, the client cancel? Right click, transfer to credit note. 1 week later, the client says, okay lah, this invoice, maybe I can't do this. I'm going to issue a credit note, save, and submit. Tell LHDN that this invoice is cancelled. Again, LHDN doesn't want to work now. Okay, but you get this, right? So you must do e-invoice. Now, the question here is, can amend consolidate in e-invoice within 72 hours? Now, the thing about consolidated e-invoice is you're probably declaring your sales already, right? Done. You probably received the money already. Yeah. Consolidated e-invoice. Same method, cancel. Okay, wrong invoice details. It's the same methods, okay? Same methodology. Again, I've answered your question. Alice Ong, right? Consolidate e-invoice. Consolidate e-invoice by the 7th of every month of the following month, right? E-invoice is because now let's talk about e-invoice. If you give me an invoice without a QR code, I will reject your invoice. I, as your customer, your client, I will reject your invoice. No QR code means you did not submit to LHDN. So just think about that, yeah? So e-invoice generally real time, consolidated by the 7th of the following month, okay? You need to put the parent name. you need to put the parent name or the company name. Okay. All right. So Mr. Low. Okay. Yeah. You need the parent name or the company name. Okay. Okay. Client details don't have the TIN number. We answered that earlier already. If they require e-invoice, you must have. Yeah. That's all. Okay. Now we will end our session here. Okay. Later, there will be a recording of this session. And if you have any specific questions not covered in this session, you can contact us directly. Okay. So thank you very much. And we will end here. And just get in touch with us, right? With your questions. Okay. So thank you and hope, and we will hear from you soon. Yeah. Thank you. Bye-bye.